What's up, y'all? I just got done with class, and I'm about to go hit legs. And then afterwards, I gotta go head to Dallas. So my day is pretty busy. But I'll see you guys there.
Testing, testing, testing. What's up, y'all? Sorry about the short intro. I was on a time crunch. I was trying to just do it as fast as possible because I had to get to Dallas to visit a grad school. But honestly, like considering like how tired I felt going into the lift, uh, all the weight was really easy. I mean, like as you can see, it's just flying up for me, and that's just how it is for all the preceding sets. I couldn't really focus on being slow with this type of lift because, for one, it's just power clean and it's meant to be explosive. But all the other lifts I did sort of slow I did a decent job of keeping tempo for the rest of my lifts. And honestly, like I felt like a big pump like whenever I get to around my like fourth or fifth set, just in my quads, and I started feeling more of like a contraction in my hamstrings whenever I'm doing the single leg deadlifts. And again, I think the more I implement Mike Benser tips, the more I see that he's right. I don't know if he's fully right about like the one set because it's just hard for me to imagine like just one set would be enough potential to make your muscles grow. I've been watching like I watched one video of this rock climber who did it for a whole year and he said he made a lot of gains. And then he said he was in the best shape of his life, had zero injuries, and then I had another guy who just did it for 30 days and he uh, gained about like 1 pound and he lost strength. So I guess results may vary. The second guy, I don't know if he really did it right, and he didn't really seem to do it for as long. So I can't really say if his results are valid or not. But nonetheless, for power clean, I'm going to be going up 10 pounds on my top set. And then the other ones, I'm just going to go up by 2.5 pounds just to see if I get really tired from adding 10 pounds. I'm still not at the best I can be yet. I really want to crush 220 for two. I want to go like 225 for two before I graduate. I think I can get there. I think for if the next couple of weeks, if I add 10 pounds, I should definitely get there, or maybe 5. And I felt pretty explosive on these, as you can see here. I'm like just flying up and like just going really fast on these. I don't know whether or not I should like just fully stand up after I do a single leg box jump, but it just seems to me like as long as I jump up and get there, I completed the rep, quote unquote. I mean, this is more just a plyometric, so it is meant to be just fast. I decided not to record the second set just due to time constraints, but I recorded the third set, and as you can see, I'm flying even faster than the first set. And I really enjoy doing like something heavy and then doing a plyometric right afterwards because I feel like I'm flying. You know, some days you'll feel a little bit more tired than others, but for a majority of the time, I do feel like I'm like just jumping super high whenever I do this. There might be something going on with like post activation potentiation. I believe that's what it's called, or French contrast training. And as you can see here, my whole body is just like being pumped just like after that first set. And I'm also sweating like crazy because it was pretty hot that day. It was like 80 degrees, and like 80 degrees outside is not bad, but like 80 degrees indoor is pretty rough. But as you can tell in the back of the mirror, like my whole back is just pumped up, and I really like leg days a lot. I know like some people hate leg days, but I really enjoy leg days. I feel like I'm the most strong on my leg days, and like I've never had like a leg day where I've like regressed per se. Like I've always like improved on one thing. Like for example, like technique or better form. I guess that falls into technique, or maybe I added weight, or maybe did another rep. Like I've always just improved on leg days, and Mike Mentor said like uh since like these muscles are so big, they get like a bigger response to releasing testosterone in your body. So that does make your like arms bigger, which I thought was pretty crazy to hear that like training legs makes your arms bigger. I mean, as long as you're training your arms as well alongside with, it means your arms will be getting bigger. But I guess it makes sense with the release of testosterone and probably growth hormone alongside that. But like sometimes these leg days make my back like really sore the next day, which I kind of like, but then I kind of don't like because I mean, like, you know, having a sore back is not fun, or just having any sore muscle really is not that fun. On this first set, I'm always like, it's always hard for me to get my balance right. Oh, and if you're wondering why I didn't record my warm up set again, it was just due to time constraints, and also I was just on call with someone. But my warm up, I felt like really, really good. Like I was focusing on, you know, slow and controlled reps for everything, and like the weight I normally do for warming up for the single leg deadlifts or RDLs as I'm doing in this first set. Usually it feels pretty heavy, like the 60 and then the 80 pounds, but today it felt really, really light. So today I plan to do like 140 for 3 sets and then do 135 for the last 2 sets, but I decided that like I'm feeling good, so I'm just going to do all the sets at 140. And this is probably like the most weight I've ever done for 5. Next week I hope to do 145 for all the sets again, or maybe just 3. You know, progress is still progress. And like I guess in my mind, my technique looks or feels a lot better than it actually is, but it kind of looks like I'm rounding my back quite a bit. Which rounding your back is not inherently a bad thing. Just for deadlift, you want to keep it more straight, more neutral spine, just because that's where you're producing like the greatest amount of force. But if you're doing like a lift like the Jefferson curl, like a rounded back is fine. Like your spine is meant to flex. I mean, otherwise, how else would we be living? We'd just be like standing straight up if our spine wasn't meant to bend. And then for this, I don't know if I did the same weight as last week, but it felt pretty difficult because I was keeping it pretty tempo. Even though it doesn't look like I'm keeping it tempo, it looks like I'm just blasting through the reps. I guess my like perception of like how fast I'm going through reps versus like reality is just not the same. So maybe I got to go even slower on my reps. Maybe I'll just stick to the same weight next week, but just focusing on like very, very slow and controlled. I also don't really warm up my calves enough, so that's probably why the first set is always such a struggle. And then these 5th sets. I've also noticed something like whenever I'm doing calf raises, I always have this like on my left foot or sometimes my right foot. It just like the underneath the arch, it gets like really tight, and then it like stretches out, and it hurts like crazy whenever I'm doing calf raises. And it always happens during calf raises, but then after the calf raises, it's fine. It doesn't happen anymore. I supersetted these calf raises with the tib raises back there, as you can see. I've been doing like 17 and a half pounds on each side, trying to raise, go slow and controlled. And I got such a big pump from my tib raises that it almost gave me like, I guess like a shin splint feeling, but shin splints are kind of on the bone, but it kind of felt like it was on the muscle, the tibialis anterior. So this next thing, I've been going quite heavy on these on these weighted sit-ups. So I'm doing 45 pounds, and I'm going pretty slow and controlled, and it's pretty hard. Like with 45 pounds on. Before I would always put the weight right in front of me, and I went up to like 60 pounds, and it felt really easy. But now putting the weight behind me, it just makes it that much harder. Because like with if you understand torque, like imagine me as a straight lever, and all the way at the end, that's where the most force is being produced. So that's why it's hard. So I think I did 2 sets or 3 sets with 45 because it was getting really, really hard, and I didn't want to fail the rep and drop the weight. And then I did the last 2 sets or last 3 sets with 40 pounds. But hopefully next week I'll do all the sets with 45 pounds. Before, I think I'm going to, maybe in the summer, I'm going to go to like a higher rep range for abs, just because I think they'll grow better on like higher rep range. So I'm gonna do like 10 reps and probably lower the rate to like 20 pounds or 25 pounds. Obviously slow and controlled. And that's the end of the video. See you later.